The Minister has moved the second stage, and Deputy Smith objected to that, and I took a few minutes just to reflect on that and to check. I'm afraid you raise an interesting point, Deputy Smith, but there is no provision for that. There were 2 votes last night. I was in the chair myself when we took the votes, and the motion was on the sitting and business motion. And there were 2 votes on that, and that was when the business was set out and how we would take it today. And I'm afraid that's all I can do, and that's my understanding of it now. I haven't checked.
Lascian, with respect, I understand this is very unusual. Deputies who are here far longer than I said they've never seen it before. However, you did say that we agree that the bill be moved to a second stage or be read a second time, and I didn't agree. I object to it being read a second time. I object to the whole way in which it's been pushed through. And when I don't agree with something and I want to find out how other deputies feel, I believe I have a right to put it to a vote. Now, if I don't, if procedures, standing orders say I don't, then I'll have to accept that from you, but I believe I do.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, and I think you're making a good argument, but however, the motion was put last night and it was passed by the majority of the House in relation to how we would proceed today. Under Standing Order 176, the second reading of any bill, Standing Order 1761, the debate on the motion that the bill be now read a second time shall be confined to the general principle of the bill, and it goes on to say what can be said. But that motion determines how the second stage is read, and we copper-fastened that last night with 2 motions. So I'm not going to allow further debate on it, Deputy. I'll allow you to make another contribution, but that's my understanding, and I've taken the time to look at it and reflect on it. There will be, of course, a chance to vote later on in relation to the second stage, as there is with all second stage bills. So at various stages there will be votes, presumably, if they're called.
Well, absolutely, Les, I understand that. You know, I'm not here that long, but I'm here long enough to know that we can vote on whether it moves past second stage, and we can vote on the amendments tomorrow, etc., etc. But the question was put that the bill be read a second time. Is that agreed? And I said, no, I'm objecting to that. Now, I believe that that has some standing in the machinations of democracy in this House. And if standing orders are telling me it doesn't, then I have no choice but to accept that at the moment, because I'm not going to kick up a big fuss and start throwing furniture around the place, but not much now as I'd like to. But the point being that I have to accept it. You may be wrong, and the people who advised you may be wrong. We'll find out afterwards. But it's an interesting one that when you're asked, is that agreed, and you say no, that you're not allowed to bring that to the next point, which is, if it's not agreed, do other people agree with me that it's not agreed? That's what I'm trying to do here.
I understand, absolutely understand where you're coming from. I'm not going to allow a debate on it. I'm sorry. At this point, I've got to make a rule on it. I perfectly understand what you're saying. It's part of the system that I'm reading out, that the bill be now read a second time, and nobody can object to that at this point. So at this point, just my limited experience and my understanding of the system, it's not possible at this point to call a vote. Now, I may be wrong, but that's the ruling I'm making at this point.